Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Lab 385 podcast. My name is Jess and I am a co-director here at Lab 385, which is a web design studio here in Perth, Western Australia. In these podcasts, I hope to give you like 5-10 minutes of some real hard-hitting stuff that makes you think twice about the role your website plays in your business. On this episode, we're actually focusing more on how to ensure your website lasts. Why is this actually important? So the really common thing that we get here at Lab 385 is that people will come to us and say, I've started building my website and I realized that I need to rebuild it all over again. It's going to set me back in my business. I might have to pay people to do it for me. And I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. It's confusing. And probably at the end of all of this, they have another website that, again, doesn't exactly do what they want. So when the business goes to another stage of business, whether that means that they expand their services or their products or they change their brand, or they have a whole ideal customer audience that they didn't realize that they had before, this is when things can get very costly. And we do not want to have a website which does not last. And when I mean not last, I mean it's around for a year and it's barely being updated. It's very clunky. It's difficult to update, like painful to update. And people are just not going to it. So what you find that you're doing is using other tools, relying heavily on social media as well to bring your audience to understand who you are, what you do, what you offer. And the issue with that is, there's a lot of issues here, guys, but the issue with that is that social media is not a platform that you own. Sure, you have the login, sure, you have your own account, sure, you can upload whatever you want. But if there is an outage, or if for some reason you are being blocked from using Instagram, TikTok, and it could be because, someone reported your account for whatever reason, that channel can go down and that can really affect your business. So our website and also our mailing list is the only audience that we truly own. So that's why your website is still important. And that's why in 2024, websites are still actually a really important tool to have in your business toolkit. So today on this episode, I'm actually going to be talking about how to make your website last more than just one iteration. So basically what it means in context of your website is that, like I said, it's changing and growing with your ideal audience, but also with your business. So if you do want to change your products or services, you can easily update your website. We never want a website that is so painful to update that we just forget about it, we leave it, we're actually kind of embarrassed about it. We definitely don't want that. So if you need to implement a new feature today, how easy would it be to do this? That's a really important question to ask yourself. So I'm going to run through some questions to ask yourself here. So look at your website. So if you needed to implement a new feature today, or a new page today, or a new design today, how easy would it be to do this? Would it be extremely painful? Would you just call up your freelancer who did it and realize that they ghosted you? Would you be able to do it? Or would it be done so easily? So this is really interesting because we want it to be done so easily, right? We don't want it to take up too much time. We don't want to have to spend a lot of money doing this, if at all. And we definitely want to make it so it's so easy to update. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about making your website last and making it versatile for your business. So that, we really want this like headache inducing website to now become so easy to update. I might just do a quick sidebar here and actually talk about why is it important to update your website. You guys gotta update your website. It is never set and forget. I've talked to so many people that believe that their website is just set and forget. Like, yeah, it looks pretty, it does a job and whatever. But you have to understand that a lot of people, like your target audience, may be coming back to your website to check. And if they see that it's been the same for years, no, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We need to be using data to actually understand how people are using the website and then make changes accordingly, and your website should be able to handle that as well. So I want to talk a little bit about a client that we actually had. So a few years ago, we actually had the amazing Whiteman Park. So if you don't know Whiteman Park, they are basically an institution here in Western Australia, and they are a huge lot of land that was actually donated from a private owner to the government and actually turned it into an animal and wildlife sanctuary. And there are a lot of parks on there for kids. There's a lot of museums, like the Train Museum, for example. There's a candy shop desktop, which is extremely important, and the amazing Peers Place as well. And so we actually worked on this website. So the initial website that they had, it was very difficult to update, and it was very difficult to add any new pages. It was very difficult to manage, and also, of course, yes, it looked outdated. Now, you might say, well, a lot of websites get outdated. A lot of websites are difficult to update. No, they're not. No, they are not. If you build them correctly, if you start from the very beginning, so before we even begin to imagine what the website is going to look like, we start to map out the present and the future for your website. That is so incredibly important. We want to be able to understand, where is the business right now, and how is the website going to support the business right now? And what are the possibilities in the future that the website might need to accommodate? So we do that in a few ways. The first one is that we actually try to get a really good understanding of the business itself. Now, this definitely goes beyond what's your goals, what's your objectives, who's your target audience, what age are they, what's their name, what are their interests, what are their pain points? Like, it goes far beyond that. We look at the business now, what's working now, what's the vision of the business in the future, and what are the resources that are going to come out to support this as well. And we look at the possibilities of how it will be managed internally and what they possibly would need support with. We also want to understand their ideal audience and understand how they're going to be using the website and what they expect to see on the website. This is going to help us determine not only the design and the content, but also the functionality. When we understand the functionality, we're able to build that into the website and understand that there is a possibility that that is probably going to change in the future. So we need to be really smart about how we build certain things as well. So we took Whiteman Park's website from this website where no one was touching it to a website that I believe is now 5 years old. Now, this is somewhat unheard of with websites, because websites are usually, it might even be older than that, but websites usually are completely rebuilt after 5 years. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but if the website was built on a system which, has security vulnerabilities, this is particularly WordPress I'm talking about, or was like Shopify, for example, but now we want an actual website which houses a lot more content, a lot more information, is actually built for a website, then we need to rebuild. But Whiteman Park was actually built on a platform which it can grow with the business, maintain the existing business structure as well, and continuously meet those objectives, and make it so much easier for the team to be able to update it with fresh information, as well as just making it much more cost effective. So we can imagine how much a website costs your business every 5 years, okay? Every 5 years, it may cost your business anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. So if we think of the initial build of Whiteman Park, and over 5 years, how much has the website cost them? It's considerably less. And that is extremely important. A lot of business owners obviously are very interested as to how much their website is costing them and the ROI with their website. So that's why we want to focus on a website that's going to last. So I would say that with Whiteman Park as well, the very interesting thing with them is the minute we also launched their website, it actually increased their traffic by 70% on desktop and 74% on mobile. It continues to be a source of most of the traffic that their audience is interested in them. So it's more traffic they're getting through Google than, say, their social media channels, which is fantastic. And that's because they are able to update it easily and also manage it easily as well. They're not embarrassed by it and they want to be able to update it and keep it nice and fresh too, which is great. So I would definitely, first of all, we need to, like I said, we need to start all the way before we even begin to design, all the way before we even begin to do content, all the way before we even go, okay, I want a booking form and a contact form and this. We actually need to map out the complete journey of your website from now and how it's going to support your business in the future. You can do this with a mind map, you can do this with post-its, you can do this any way, and then we actually want to start building our website from there. So After all that, then we can ask the actual question, which is, if you needed to implement a new feature today, how easy would it be to do this? And your answer should be very easy. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions at all, you can always hit me up. hello@lab385.com.au. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.